Ed, will you not come to my wedding?
As out of the blue in an otherwise ordinary life came the wonderful news. It was his daughter's wedding. He'd faced many challenges over the years, but he had raised his daughter with nothing but love. Yet she had declined his presence at her wedding, face to face. And on top of that, he discovered an unbelievable truth. He wasn't going to show her any sympathy. If it's come to this, he'll push her to the limit, won't he? My name is Jake. While holding a position at a renowned company, I work daily for my family. A life might lack excitement, but I lead a relatively peaceful life. One day, a piece of delightful news came into my otherwise ordinary life. It was about my daughter, Maria, getting married. However, my relationship with Maria is a tad complicated. That's because Maria isn't my biological daughter. Maria is the daughter of my wife, Susan. Back then, Maria was just 7 years old, a sweet child always considerate of others.
Nice to meet you, Dad. From today...
Aha, likewise. But you don't have to call me Dad if you don't want it, okay?
But Mom said, if you ever feel like you want to call me Dad, then do it. Until then, you can call me Uncle or hey, Idbro works too. Got it. Uncle, take care.
Oh, 70, figured it'd be Uncle.
It was about 6 months later that Maria started calling me Dad.
Got to when she did, tears of joy welled up in my eyes. But my relationship with Susan was thriving, and surrounded by a lovely daughter, life was blissful. But it seems that such happiness wasn't meant to last. It all began when Maria entered middle school. Sa Compton's stations, on a holiday morning when I walked into the living room, I saw Maria watching TV all by herself. But wanting to spend some quality family time, I sat a little distance away from Maria on the sofa and tried striking up a conversation.
I've heard the show's pretty popular lately. Is it a hit at school?
No.
Alright, since we've got the day off, how about the three of us go, for lunch? And Santa, don't play about...
I just don't want to.
My daughter swiftly stood up and left the living room with a blunt expression. I was taken aback by her colder-than-usual attitude, feeling quite embarrassed and pretty shocked. Did I do something to upset Maria, or was she just in a bad mood?
I tried convincing myself it was just a one-off.
But her attitude didn't change in the days that followed. Driven by my anxiety, I decided to talk to my wife about it.
Natalie, do you think Mary doesn't like me anymore?
What's gotten into you all of a sudden? LL, did something happen?
Well, ever since she started middle school, she seemed colder towards me. You know...
Really? She seems normal to me. Is it just me then?
Did I do something to upset her?
After pondering for a bit, my wife, with a sudden realization, said to me,
You know what? I bet it's just her rebellious phase.
Rebellious phase?
Yes, probably. Adolescence and the rebellious phase are hitting at the same time. She'll settle down eventually.
Right, I hope so. Is that how it goes?
Especially with girls. It's just something they go through. Don't fret too much.
I guess that's just how it is.
However, a year after that, I began to receive the cold shoulder from my wife as well.
You know you've been smelling off lately. Are you showering properly? Sigh, the thought of sharing a tub with someone as greasy as you just grosses me out. Turning to our daughter in the same room, my wife asked, "Don't you think so, Amy?"
Amy, making a disgusted face, agreed, totally.
Seriously, I wish he'd stay away with that stench. And please don't ever mix Dad's underwear with our laundry, okay?
I totally get it. I can't stand it either.
How much longer do we have to share the same space with him? Just 3 seconds of breathing the same air and I feel nauseous.
Right, I feel the same. How about we head out, just the two of us?
Really? Hey, I love you, Mom.
So you'll stay behind and handle the chores. Make sure everything's done, okay?
At that, my wife and daughter left the room. Basement from that day on, every time they went out, they always did so without me. They probably talk behind my back when they go out together. Sometimes my all-dressed-up wife sneaks out alone. This has been going on for several years now. Time flew by, and when Marianne, not renamed as Jessica, turned 25.
Huh, that's none of your business.
Congratulations on your engagement, Maria. Who's the lucky guy?
Reflecting on my time with Maria, I got lost in my emotions for a moment.
I've told him that my dad is always busy with work.
What? As her father, I need to properly meet and greet him.
Oh, and just so you know, don't come to the wedding, okay?
What? I couldn't believe what I was hearing from my daughter. Why the heck not? It's ridiculous for a father not to attend his daughter's wedding, isn't it?
I don't want to introduce a sleazy old man like you as my father.
Together as a family all this time.
Gross. Pretending to be a real father. Don't act like you're some kind of model family man.
That's right. For Maria and me, you're just an ATM, aren't you?
Wait, an ATM?
Why act surprised now? The only reason I married you was because of your high income from that good job. You know, ALAL.
What? You're joking, right? We've been husband and wife for 20 years.
Can you not? It's sickening.
If someone like you attends the wedding, it'll ruin the whole ceremony, won't it? If you care about Mariah even a bit, please don't come.
If you care about Maria even a bit, please don't come. But confronted with this cold reality, so suddenly I was left speechless. Desperate to escape the situation, I retreated to my room. From then on, the two of them treated me with even more disdain, as if they were looking at something dirty. Instinct, I became fearful of facing them, and the time I spent at home dwindled to the bare minimum. Then, on a particular day, as I was holed up in my room like always, I overheard a conversation between my daughter and wife.
Maria said, "Mom, he's locked himself in his room again today. Seriously? It's so creepy."
Oh, come on, it's fine. At least he's out of sight. He's probably just lounging around sleeping. I mean, it's a relief not having to see that ugly face. But more importantly, Maria added, he's not coming to the wedding. Right, Natalie replied after how firmly we told him, I'm sure
He won't. Don't worry. Maria said, I hope so. By the way, is Dad from your side okay? He's attending, right?
I was speechless at my daughter's words. Did she just say Dad? What's going on? I'm their dad, aren't I, dear auntie?
My wife said something shocking. Don't worry, he's made time for it, but I'm so glad. Our real dad is going to attend the wedding.
Maria exclaimed, yeah. It's been years since I've seen Dad. I don't remember much, but I'm sure he'll be thrilled about my wedding.
Italy said, of course he will be. His flesh and blood is getting married, so he's bound to be ecstatic.
Maria added, well, even that guy who's not blood-related was over the moon, right? So clueless, like a total fool. Natalie said, I bet we can expect a nice gift from that dad. Veneria said, he started his own business and made it big, didn't he? So impressive. Natalie said, he even got featured in online news. Aria said, last time I met him, I was shocked. He looked so sleek and handsome, almost like a movie star. Nothing like someone we know who's balding smelly. Natalie said, really, I wonder how our guy ended up so different from him. Maria said, let's keep meeting up. Just the three of us with our real dad. At that moment, I felt something shatter inside with a deafening noise.
I see. So that's what this was about. They were trying to keep me away to invite their real father to the wedding. And it seems like they've been meeting him behind my back. Well, fine. If that's how you two feel, I've got plans of my own, and so, determined to settle the score for being treated like a cash machine, I decided on revenge. I commissioned various investigations, and once the results were in, I confronted the two of them. I won't be attending the wedding. I'm leaving this house, my daughter exclaimed, jumping with joy. Really? Awesome.
As the wedding is in 2 weeks, right? I'll leave on that day.
I thought you were just some creepy old man, but you were surprisingly understanding.
My wife and daughter laughed and celebrated, genuinely looking forward to my departure. That with those two in the background, I quickly began packing and preparing to leave. Face on the day of the wedding, just as I was loading my belongings into the car and about to leave, my wife and daughter approached, grinning from ear to ear.
So you're finally leaving. It's Maria's wedding today. Such a joyous day indeed.
Absolutely. What a perfect day.
Why the attitude? We're just trying to have a final chat. I'll make sure you file for divorce, okay?
Fuck so creepy till the end. Just get out of here, old man. We're busy too.
Alright, see ya.
Ignoring the two with their smug grins, I got into the car. I probably won't ever come back to this house. A few hours later, I had safely arrived at the new apartment I'd rented and was taking a breather.
I got a call from someone asking me to come to the wedding venue immediately.
Well, I kinda saw this coming. To be honest, I never want to see my wife and daughter again. But today, right now, is the grand stage for the revenge I've been waiting for.
Alright, let's do this.
Upon arrival at the venue, as expected, there was a commotion. My daughter's yelling echoed through the hallway. I slowly opened the door to see my daughter in her wedding dress, my wife, a man who is my daughter's fiancé, Chenpomeka's parents, and his grandparents, and then there was a man I had never seen before. He must be the real father.
What the old man? What are you doing here?
Oh, it's because I was invited.
What? Invited? There's no way.
It's true, I was called over by your fiancé Shay's grandfather.
What?
Indeed, the person who called me earlier was my daughter's fiancé calls. Grandfather, he's someone I owe a lot to from when I first started working.
I still meet up with Mr. Johnson a few times a year.
But I never imagined that Mr. Johnson's grandson would be your fiancé.
That makes no sense. This connection between you two has to be a joke, right?
Well, I was just as surprised at first.
When I heard that Mike's daughter was getting married, I realized it was the same timing as my grandson's wedding. So I asked a few questions, and turns out she's my grandson's bride-to-be. Guess Mike and I have some sort of connection, huh? Mike and I have some sort of connection, huh?
No way.
Also, I knew beforehand that Mike wouldn't attend the wedding. I heard you told him not to come to the wedding, right? So I informed my grandson about this in advance. It's up to him to decide, but I wanted him to reconsider whether he's choosing the right partner for life.
Yes, my grandfather told me about this beforehand.
But I wanted to trust you. If your foster dad had genuinely attended the ceremony, I intended to marry you as planned. But the man who came here wasn't him.
I can't marry a woman who disrespects her foster father. I hereby call for our engagement.
What? Call off our engagement?
Wait a moment, please. The man who came today is Maria's biological father. Don't you think it's appropriate for her real father to attend her wedding?
In the midst of an oppressive silence, I felt compelled to respond.
You see, I married you and became Maria's father. We might not share blood, but I've always considered her my true daughter and raised her such.
So what? It's our wedding. Isn't it better for her real father to be here?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But only if he truly was her biological father. You know,
Pointing to the man referred to as the real father, he looked taken aback and avoided my gaze. As my wife hastily tried to explain, I couldn't help but smirk.
Isn't that strange?
He is her real father? They're blood related?
I couldn't help but smirk.
I had a private investigator look into it, and isn't that guy just your affair partner? But I'm not spinning while I'm
That's...
Whether only my wife knew this fact or not, my daughter, who had been crying, confronted her mother, demanding, "What's going on?"
No, it's not like that. Please don't misunderstand. He really is Maria's father.
You introduced that man to me as my real dad, didn't you?
I've been telling you, he's not someone I had an affair with. Do you have proof?
Well then, how would you explain this?
I pulled out an envelope from my bag and scattered its contents. They were photos, evidence of my wife having an affair with that man. Why? Why do you have these?
I had a private investigator look into it.
Not only did he deceive a real father and daughter, but he was also having an affair. He's the worst.
It's not like that. Please wait. Forgive me.
Oh, why'd I forgive you after all the times you insulted and treated me like I was in the way?
I raised our daughter, thinking we were a real family. And then this kind of betrayal. There's no way I can forgive this.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Just stop.
Shut it. I'll never forgive you. Got it. And I'll make sure to get every penny of alimony from you.
Don't ever think for a second that you two can live happily after this. You'll regret what you did for the rest of your life. At that, I stormed out of the wedding venue. Soon after, our daughter's engagement was officially broken off. It was spread through mutual friends, and now it seems that even close friends have distanced themselves. I got around at my daughter's workplace, and with no place left for her, she apparently resigned on her own accord. Of course, I made sure to divorce my wife, Nancy. Given the ample evidence of her affairs, she had no room to argue. I sought alimony from my ex-wife and the man she cheated with. After paying me, the man vanished from her life. The plan to remarry and be financially supported failed. Now, I hear she works part-time jobs from morning till night. In the end, those who don't value their family, they're just deserts. It's nothing but their own doing. On the other hand, I've been surprisingly enjoying my bachelor life. With the money I used to spend on my wife and daughter now for disposal, I recently got a dog. Good boy, Max, let's go for a long walk today. Bark with my new furry family member, Max. I've taken a happy, fresh start. From now on, I plan to relish my personal time. He sought alimony from my ex-wife and the man she cheated with. After paying me, he vanished from her life. Her plan to remarry and be financially supported failed. Now, I hear she works part-time. Which jobs from morning till night. Unsurprisingly, my daughter cut ties with the ex-wife who had deceived her. And so, my family completely fell apart. In the end, those who don't value their family face their just deserts. It's nothing but their own doing. On the other hand, I've been surprisingly enjoying my bachelor life. With the money I used to spend on my wife and daughter now at my disposal, I recently got a dog.
Good boy, Max. Let's go for a long walk today, Bark.